Once upon a time in the magical land of Equestria, there was a town at the edge of the forest. The forest was something that all town's inhabitants knew to avoid, but the town prospers regardless of the forest's dangers. In the town live hundreds of all types of ponies, unicorn, pegasi, and earth ponies. The earth ponies tend to land while the pegasi to see the weather. The unicorns use their magical abilities to perform various tasks around the town, helping every pony they can. On the edge of town, not far from the Everfree Forest, there was a farm. This farm was huge, consisting of nothing but apple trees as far as the eye can see. Living on the farm were two siblings, an earth pony brother and sister, and together they tended innumerable apple trees each year, providing high-quality apples across the land. Afashina lived near the center of town. She lived alone, but that didn't bother her. It allowed her to focus on her beautiful dresses in peace. She sold them to the best of her nobility, her name reaching just as far as the farm's apples. Above the town lived a wonderful cadet. Her speed was unrivaled by even the best flyers. She spent her time not working on the weather, practicing and training for her future career. She dashed and zoomed, looped and weaved, and performed very complex maneuvers each day. Once she finished a set of exercises, she was met with silence. She often took a break from one of the trees. The silence allowed her to nap without interruption. Elsewhere in town, there stood a schoolhouse. In the schoolhouse were many little fillies and colts, some with cutie marks, some without. Their time without a cutie mark was often difficult. The pressures of finding one's destiny on top of a bully or two made adolescence intolerable at times. Every year there were one or two fillies or colts that haven't found their true talents as fast as the rest of the class has. Their supposed failure and constant bullying drove them to depression. But when the pain became too much, they found three little fillies who just want to have fun together, on a quest to find their cutie marks. The filly or colt instantly befriended them, and together they went on adventures to try and find their cutie marks. Their depression waned as each day was filled with joy. The bullies had no effect, and nothing can ruin the happiness of playing with friends each day. And so the school year would go on, the one filly or colt remaining a blank flank far longer than thought possible. Normally in the other places this would be of no concern, as the foal would be considered as a late bloomer and would find their talent just like the rest of them. But this town is far from normal. Each year on the very first day of summer vacation, that filly or colt would go out to play with his or her new friends. They would wander town looking for their friends for hours, unable to find them. Saddened by the disappearances of their friends, the foals would wander the vast farms of apples, never to be heard of again. But every pony who has lived in that town for several years knew exactly where that filly or colt went. He or she would join their friends, playing amongst the trees of Sweet Apple Acres, and then at the start of the next year, the cycle would begin anew. Another filly or colt would find these three fillies to befriend, and together they would go on grand adventures, and at the end of each year, on the first day of summer, they would too disappear within the farm of trees, and each year the town would search, hoping the cycle would be broken, but finding everything that's the same as the previous year. The parents would often grieve for their loss, often taking their own lives at the end, which of who lived on would try and warn others, but their warnings would fall on deaf ears, assumed to be nothing more than a story to scare fillies and colts into behaving. By the end of next year, those who were warned quickly realized the truth of those warnings. First hoof, again, a search would be had. Again, the history discovering the same. No matter how many times this process repeated, no pony dared to be the first to check in the center of the farm. Near sunset of the second day, the search parties would converge into the center, most knowingly too well what awaits them. The filly or colt had gone missing would be found, curled up in the ground in front of a stone slab as though they were just sleeping. But as others knew better, they would only need to see the red and gold cape tied loosely around the foal's neck as confirmation. The parents would be filled with relief, rushing forward to embrace their loved ones as the others looked away, unable to bear witness to the events. The cries of joy quickly turned into sorrow and rage, their little one unresponsive to their touch, as cold stone in their hooves. The town's inhabitants would walk away, eyes dry as they have seen this enough to know what had happened. Many have gone through themselves. Then throughout the summer, the fields of trees would begin to fill with laughter, a brother and a sister focusing on their work in effort to ignore the pain that accompanied by the giggles of four foals. Every night that summer, the siblings on the farm, the fashionista, and the wonderful cadet would return to that spot where so many fillies and colts have lost their lives, paying homage to them and the ones responsible for their deaths, begging for an end of the curse plaguing their town. In for the center of the vast field of apple trees lay the remains of a burnt down treehouse. In front of the treehouse was a single slab of vertical stone, with a simple reading: "Here lies Applebloom, Sweetiebelle, and Scootaloo, three fillies whose lives were taken too soon, their destinies taken away before they were found. May you find eternal happiness."
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.